Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Mike Lopez interview series, or MLIS for short. I just want to say thank you right off the bat. I want to thank everybody that tuned in last week for episode one with the wrestling guy. And it's been great. The feedback has been great, and I know that I'm going to keep improving and getting better. I have big plans for other episodes and ideas that I am going to be sharing with you along the way. So this week I have Victor Pritchard from Gemini Sportscards. Victor is a very interesting person because he has an online auction. COVID kind of stopped a lot of things, so he actually kept going and is doing an online virtual auction. And I actually was able to get a few Funkos, some of which are right here. And obviously, thank you to Victor for the interview. Thank you for the pops, and I look forward to sharing this interview with everybody. Check it out. He has some very interesting stories about wrestlers from the past and things that are going to come up in the future. So, without further ado, I hope you enjoy the second episode, the interview with Victor Pritchard from Gemini Sportscards. I am here with the owner and founder of Gemini Sportscard, and I am very excited about this one. He has a series of auctions online selling different kinds of memorabilia, and I'm a huge wrestling fan, so I was able to get some of these pops right here from his store. So it was pretty exciting to talk to you today. How are you today?
I'm doing good. How are you today, Mike?
Good. We've been looking forward to this one. So
Yep. Thank you. Thank you for inviting me.
I've always wanted to ask, who came up with the Gemini Sports Cards name, and is there like a reason behind that name?
That's a great question. So actually, Gemini Sports Cards started back in around 1989 when I was about 7 years old. Because our company is sports cards. So obviously, we started off selling sports cards, sports memorabilia, which we still do. But it's a father-son business. So my father started this uh, back in 1989, and Gemini Sports Cards. The name that was developed was because my father was a Gemini. His birthday was May 28th,
Yeah.
and I'm a Gemini, so I was June 12th. So when my father started the business, he wanted to make it where it was the father and son, family owned and operated. And because we've done Frank and Sons for so many years, Frank and Sons, father son business, we wanted to have Gemini Sports Cards to kind of fit with that same type of model. So Gemini Sports Cards started because my father was a Gemini and I was a Gemini.
Nice, pretty cool stuff there. Um, I know that you guys
Yeah,
have a fan fest happen. It happened in February, if I'm not mistaken, and I wanted to know if you had any
that's
plans for a 2021 edition of LAX Fan Fest.
well, that's a great question, and it's kind of hard to anticipate. We were actually planning on doing LAX Fan Fest 2 in the fourth quarter, October, November, but with the way the cases are, which haven't been too bad, at least here in California, they've been declining, not increasing. But a lot of the hotels, a lot of your type of businesses that cater to large groups of people and a whole meeting space are unfortunately still not allowing any big mass gatherings.
Right.
So if we don't have anything this year, we'll be definitely working on something for 2021, depending on the current environment of how the state of California is. But yeah, we would love to. LAX Fan Fest was an idea that I had come up with because for so many years doing our signings and autograph signings and traveling the United States, going to different conventions and everywhere, everyone always, sees fan fest and events in the Northeast and the East Coast, and they're like, well, what about doing something out here in LA? What about doing something out here in the West Coast? And no one ever took the leap of faith or ever really wanted to put something together. So in 2019, I wanted to develop something like that, and LAX Fan Fest started, and we started off with probably the biggest headliner. Our headliner guest was The Undertaker.
Yeah.
So, and we had 40 other wrestlers there, and it was a good fit. It was a good mold, and it's kind of something I'll never forget because that show was on Leap Day, February 29th, and if it was a week or two later, it probably would have never happened because that's when the shutdown happened in March.
Yeah, it's crazy, and all that happened so quickly, so
Yeah.
definitely a lot of people, and I know that for so many people, the Undertaker means so much. So for you guys to be able to bring him as the headliner, I'm sure it meant a lot for a lot of people. And now with the whole retirement thing that happened, or his announcement, so definitely a great catch by you guys. And I know that you guys have been doing signings for years. So I wanted to know like any highlights or any interesting stories from working with some of these wrestlers.
Wow, I get that question a lot. And doing these signings now for 8 to 10 years, everyone is unique. Everyone has a special memory. Every signing, is just a chapter, I guess, in Gemini Sportscards. But I mean, we've worked with a lot of different names. Everybody from Ric Flair to Ultimate Warrior to Undertaker to Scott Hall, Kevin Nash, Kurt Angle, China, Bret the Hitman Hart. I mean, the list goes on and on. Probably one that I'll never forget and one that really holds close to me. And they were all special to me. I mean, each one of them were very unique. But one that just probably sticks out in my head right now is probably working with the Ultimate Warrior. Um, because Ultimate Warrior was such a unique character, and me being a wrestling fan myself, um, you never thought are you going to be able to work with this type of guest, and it just everything worked into place. And I'll never forget meeting the Ultimate Warrior the night before and going out to dinner with him,
Oh wow.
and it was a great time, great experience. But which was even more funnier as the night got on. Warrior, as everyone know, Warrior was great. A lot of people looked at him as being super intense, someone who maybe was very direct, and he had a lot of pride. He had a lot of pride. But I can remember when we were done having dinner, my driver had took him back to his hotel. But Warrior wanted to go work out, he told me. And granted, we had a pretty big dinner, like a big dinner out in Beverly Hills at Lowry's Prime Rib. He had never
Nice.
been there. He had even walked in with me and he goes, "Am I dressed accordingly for this?" I'm like, "Warrior, you're good, man. Let's come on in." And the one-on-one conversation we had, really get to know each other. His family, his daughters wanted to know me, and I knew the signing was going to be special because Warrior did his signings different. It's not like he just signed your item, shook your hand, and that was it. Like, he actually took 5 to 10 minutes with every single fan that day,
Wow.
and he wanted to get to know you. He wanted to know who you were, your background. He would compliment you if you're like, "Wow, do you work out? You must take good care of yourself." He just really liked to get to know his fans. But leading up to the signing the night before, the funny thing that happened was, so he wanted to go work out at one of the local 24-hour fitnesses. Well, a lot of people may know this. Warrior changed his real legal name to Warrior.
Yeah.
That was his real name, Warrior, in real life. So in order to get into the gym after hours, you had to have a photo ID. Well, Warrior left his photo ID back at the hotel. So he was trying to get into the gym, and the guy that was at the door was just like, "You know what, sorry, we can't let you in. Company policy." I think it was like an LA Fitness or something like that, something very corporate.
Hmm.
"Sorry, we couldn't get in. We can't." And Warrior was like, come on, and my driver saw the whole thing that night.
Yeah.
He saw the whole thing. So anyway, Warrior, went back to the hotel. He got his ID, went back to the gym, showed the ID to the guy at the door. The guy looked at the ID And he literally looked at it and he goes, Warrior, you're not, wait a minute, you're not who I think you are you? And he goes, yes, that's me. And the guy was so embarrassed.
That's awesome,
He
man.
was so embarrassed. He was like, how am I going to be able now to ask this guy for an autograph after not letting him in? How am I going to be able to ask this guy for a photo op? I can't. I can't. But the class act that Warrior is, he gave the guy a picture. Because Warrior
Yeah.
respected people. He knew the guy was just doing his job. So I thought that was pretty cool. I mean, it was a pretty funny story because the next day, my driver and Warrior told me that, and I thought it was something pretty interesting, pretty funny. We laugh back on now, but it just shows you, in life, you never know who you're going to run into. So maybe that one night, maybe that one day, you might run into your hero, which the guy at the door said, this was my hero. This was someone that I looked up as a kid, and I told him no, he couldn't come in to work out. So I know that person will never forget that the rest of their life, just because, how often do you meet your hero that comes up to you and tell them no, you can't come in and work out, especially someone like the Ultimate Warrior. So that story always sticks with me. It's pretty funny. Um, but yeah, no, that was a great weekend, and I'll never forget after the signing. Warrior took his time and he gave me a lot of advice, and I still have the email that he wrote me after the signing saying if there's anything I ever needed, if I ever needed a reference, a good referral, anything in the business, he had my back, and I still have that email to this day. And the weekend he passed away, it was pretty sad for me because I had just talked with him the week before. I told him congratulations on getting into the Hall of Fame. It's a big weekend for you. He was super excited. He was so pumped up. I think he was more excited than a lot of people think that what he was, because he brought out his wife, he brought out his family. It's like WWE kind of like welcomed him back home. It's like, that was his home for so many years. So he was so excited. And then we were going to work on doing another signing, and we had all these ideas. Like he wanted to do a Q&A and all this. And then unfortunately he passed away that weekend. So,
Man,
I always tell people these stories, when you have a chance to meet your heroes or meet these legends, because unfortunately they're a dying breed now these days.
right.
They're a dying breed, but when you get a chance to meet these guys like Ultimate Warrior, like Ric Flair, like The Undertaker, China, Bret the Hitman Hart, Hulk Hogan, Scott Hall, Kevin Nash, I mean, these guys are only getting older. They're not getting any younger.
And you know what? It's great that for example, Gemini Sportscards is able to bring them to us. To make that accessible. And I definitely am as many fans also. I'm sure are thankful for what you guys do.
Yeah, no,
And
absolutely. Thank you. Yep, absolutely.
and
And a lot of these signings and events wouldn't be possible. And I always say this after every signing: if it wasn't for the fans, if the fans didn't come out support us, they have their hard-earned money there to buy these autographs, to buy for these photo ops. These signings wouldn't be possible if it wasn't for all the loyal fans that we have and customers.
that's right. Yeah. I also wanted to ask in this kind of same it's a similar question, but you've mentioned a lot of big names, like Ric Flair, the Ultimate Warrior, Bret Hart. Is there anyone left out there that you still would like to work with and to bring over?
Um, I mean, there's a lot of legends we've worked with. We've done. A lot of people may not know about like private signings that we've done because some talent aren't able to come out and do public signings. One guy that we would probably like to bring out and do a public with, and we just got done doing two privates,
Was Hulk
NWO
Hogan?
again.
Yeah,
So we would love to do thrown out there to Hall and Nash and Pac, and getting Hulk would be just the icing on the cake. I know a lot of people would want to see someone like Stone Cold Steve Austin, just because
yeah,
everybody loves the Attitude Era. And when you bring, the thing is with a lot of these signings, it's kind of like, once you bring a big guy, it's like after that, it's like what else? Like it's like what's next? It's like the name you kept keep bringing You've
Yeah.
already set yourself up for such a high expectation. And it's like, you bring these bigger names as time goes on, and it's like, how do you bring a bigger one each time? And um, so yeah, I mean, and then a lot of the current talent too, like we're doing because of the pandemic, we're working with a lot of the current WWE. We're going to be doing a private signing next week with Sonya Deville and Mandy Rose,
Hmm.
which are the two hottest current wrestling talents right now on TV.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
and we've done privates with Braun Strowman. We've done privates with, Kevin Owens, Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns. Um, so yeah, I mean, we would love to, once things probably open up, um, talent feels comfortable, we would love to work with WWE again and bring out a lot of these big names that are currently on TV, because I think that's what's going to probably be the big demand, because fans are just itching to get out of the house and to be able to get back to things the way they used to be and meet these their heroes and legends. So that's something definitely we have our eye on doing. And in the meantime, we're just doing everything virtual right now. Virtual
Yeah.
seems to be the new model right now, and that's why we're doing stuff with Taya Valkyrie, who's one of the hottest talents right now in TNA. I can definitely see her and Tessa Blanchard in WWE within the next year. No spoilers.
Right.
I definitely see, them up there, taking over the women's, and it's great because with the whole women's evolution, you've actually seen now the women main eventing all the pay-per-views
Yeah.
and main eventing
WrestleMania.
all the big. Yeah, I mean, with that was huge, and it shows you how the business is definitely progressing. So the women are definitely right up there with the guys. And then of course everyone loves the legends, guys like Scott Hall and Kevin Nash. I can never work with those guys enough because there's always a demand for them. They're always coming out with a new Funko Pop. There's
Yeah.
always a new figure being released, a belt, whatever, so we love, to work with them. So we got a couple virtual signings set up with them. So yeah, I mean, we want to just keep working with whoever the people want. We want to be able to deliver based on what the demand is and what the people are asking for. And everybody, always wants the legends. So you really can't go wrong with the legends and a lot of the big top names in the business right now on TV.
Absolutely. And also wanted to ask, I know that you are around very rare items all the time. So, is there one that you keep that you've kept for yourself, and I'm not gonna give this one up. This one's for me.
Yeah, that's a great question. Doing this, not just in wrestling, but being in the sports cards, sports memorabilia business since I was 8 years old. You see a lot of amazing things.
Hmm.
You see a lot of things come through. Um, because we work with PSA, I'm always getting people giving me stuff to get stuff authenticated. But probably like one item that just has like an emotional attachment, something that I would probably never ever sell. Um, I have a WrestleMania poster that probably has like 50 different wrestlers on there from WrestleMania 1.
Oh wow. Wow.
Yeah, yeah, and I mean it's got everybody on there. It's got Hulk, Roddy Piper, a lot of the deceased wrestlers like Nikolai Volkov, Jimmy Anvil Neidhart. Um, it's something I have hung up in my bedroom. So usually, there's stuff that makes it in my office, that makes it in my house, it makes it in my bedroom, but there's stuff that I really hold tight on. I would say probably my WrestleMania poster. Um, I have a lot of Owen Hart autographs that I got personally myself when I met Owen.
Wow. Yeah.
Probably my Eddie Guerrero autographs because when I was younger in high school, I used to be a grapher. I used to go to the hotels before autographs and before you had the graphers and stuff. I used to go to the hotels and I used to get a lot of this stuff signed myself. So I have like Eddie Guerrero autographs, Chris Benoit autographs. I mean that stuff's irreplaceable.
Absolutely.
Uh,
Yeah.
but yeah, I would probably say like my WrestleMania poster, probably my signed Mega Powers. I have a signed Mega Powers by Macho Man and Hulk Hogan. Probably a lot of like when I had Undertaker, I had Undertaker sign like a lot of like rare pieces, like rare images of like him and Paul Bearer and like WrestleMania programs that I had. I just recently acquired a WrestleMania 2 program, which I thought I would never find. So that's kind of
Yeah.
like my new project is trying to get every single WrestleMania program, starting with 1 to where we're at now, 36.
36.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's right.
yeah. So like I got 1 now, I got 2, I got 3. Now I'm going after 4 and 5. Um, yeah. So yeah, I mean, it's hard to be a reseller and a collector. I have this conversation a lot with dealers and people who are involved in the business. So you kind of have to draw a fine line between what's an emotional attachment and what's for sale,
Yeah.
because you can never let your emotions get involved in the business. Once you start letting your emotions get involved in the business, then that's when you have a hard time letting go of things, I've noticed.
Yeah, absolutely. And at the end of the day, it is a business, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely, definitely.
Awesome, man. Well, thanks again for the interview. Is there any way people can reach you online or social media?
Yeah, so everybody, if you're on Instagram, follow LAX Fan Fest. It's just like the airport, LAX, and then Fan Fest. If you're on Facebook, you can follow Gemini Sportscards. That's our public page. And if you're interested in joining our auction page and watching some of our current live virtual signings, like I mentioned, we have one coming up actually on Saturday with the beautiful Taya Valkyrie. And then September 18th, we have one coming up with big, sexy, big daddy cool Kevin Nash. And then October 3rd, we're going to have, hey, yo, Chico, Razor, Ramon, Scott Hall. So all they have to do is just go on their Facebook search and type in LAX Fan Fest Virtual Auctions, and you can join the page. And every Friday, we do a live virtual auction. And or if you're in the LA area, come to Frank and Son Collectible Show. This is my store that I'm at tonight. You can come visit me, come say hi. If you saw the video, I'll even hook you guys up with a discount.
All
Yeah,
right.
but I'm not hard to find. I'm easy to find.
Absolutely. Yeah. Sounds good.
Yep.
Well, thanks again, and we'll see you guys next time.
Thanks, Mike.
Thank you.